Candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead the promised land? Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth or lies will take the mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies both take a mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Will you hear the people's voice? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown?
on. So the second mixer. So while we're talking, we're... Okay. Sorry, that's my mistake. Okay. Let's start that all from scratch. Okay. Yes, and now I've had a string of people sending me messages. Mute's not on. Okay. So that has solved that. Okay. Let's kick off with Tony's opening statement, considering of the lovely thing of not having the mute key on. Okay. Sorry, Tony, you're having to go through that twice, but at least those at home can hear this time.
Kia ora, ko Tony Boynton taku ingoa, he uri ahau no tūhoi ngā te awa. I stand in the seat of Kapu te rangi. It will be a privilege to serve you again in the second term as Middle Māori Ward Councillor. As an advocate who fought to establish Māori wards in Whakatāne, I have worked hard ensuring te ao Māori view and perspectives are part of decision making, upholding te tiriti o Waitangi, ensuring our people and our hapori voices are at the table. As your Māori Ward Councillor, I have supported increased cultural competency within our council. I am kanohi kitea at home, on the ground in our marae, at our hapuhui, with our iwi and our gatherings. I've advocated for Māori in a national level. I hold a bachelor degree of humanities, majoring in policy and administration. If elected again, I will seek greater collaboration with our iwi hapu organisations for housing, infrastructure, economic development opportunities and ensuring long-term sustainability. I have proven leadership, experience, knowledge and networks in the drive to work hard representing our whānau of Kapu Te Rangi ward and across our rohe.
Okay, Hiria.
Kia ora tātou, ko Hiria Wallace tōku ingoa, he uri ahau no mai tūhoi no Ngāti Awa, kei te noho au ki Whakatāne nei. I'm Hiria Wallace and I am proud to be standing in Kapu Te Rangi Māori Ward. I have been a person who's worked in education in this community and around Aotearoa for the past 31 years, and I really believe in Māori representation. I think it's really important to have a strong Māori voice at the table and ensure that our people are being heard. I think one of the most important things is to connect to the communities and understand the issues that are most important to our people in our community. Housing is a big issue in our community, and many Māori whānau do not own their own homes, and I think it's important for them to have that opportunity to own their own homes. Economic development is also very important, so that there are jobs for our people to stay in this area, as well as educational pathways for them.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay, we're going to now get to the box questions where each candidate will go one by one. And since we have two candidates here, we have decided we're going to get one candidate pick a box number, both candidates answer the questions, and the box numbers are between 1 and 28, or for in Te Reo Māori, between tahi and Ruatako mā waru. So let's kick off. Tony, what's the first box number you'd like to pick, please?
Do I pick a number or a letter?
Yeah, a number.
A number, okay. Te kaumārima.
Yes, the good old driver's license age. Okay, now I'm going to do a check just to make sure that I've got the right Stream Deck loaded in on here. Yes, I do. Okay, we've got, it's J for Juliet.
Oh my gosh.
How will you make sure Māori wards is not just symbolic, but have real influence in shaping council policies and priorities?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. By ensuring our whānau and hapu are aware of the mechanisms that we have in councils, like public forums and also the submissions process on the LTP, making sure that our processes are accessible, that the information is brought to our hapu, that they have an understanding on how to really maximise and utilise those mechanisms and have input into the LTP, have input into whatever the strategies are. And I think being able to be a conduit for our people is not just about being a voice at the table, but it's also that we are translating the information of council with our whānau, empowering them with the information so that they can utilise the tools of council to be able to determine and achieve their own aspirations. Being able to give them that awhi and guidance and support, and know that they have someone there who's going to be looking at them and supporting them with their whakaaro and input. And then also following up within the operations of council to be able to see how can we support those aspirations of our people, of our hapori and individuals, and make something work. How can we make it align with our council so that we are both all achieving outcomes?
Okay. Keria.
I think it's really important to educate our whānau on the council priorities. I think one thing is sometimes they don't actually realise what are the priorities, but also the way in which they can contribute to those priorities. And part of that is the consultation process. So when consultation goes out, ensuring that they have an opportunity to have their say and contribute their ideas to those consultation hui that happen or those that are held online, and just that transparency of what happens in council so that they really can be a contributor. Also, that just reminding them that their values are very important, and that also ensuring that ngā mātāpono o te tiriti are not only honoured but activated, and that they are woven into the policies that are created.
Okay, Hidia, what's the next box number?
Ono.
Ono. Always having to make me rethink of learning all the stuff back from primary school. Okay. How was it? We got K for Kakariki. Rates have increased significantly in the last 3 years. What will you do to ensure affordability for ratepayers while still funding essential services? Ready when you are.
I think it's important to understand that we can't make promises to decrease those rates at the moment if you understand the level of debt and how the council is operating in that deficit. And so there has been a schedule that's been set out for the next 10 years, and the increases are there, but they are also on a decreasing. If you look at the schedule, they will be decreasing. So I think other things that we can do as the council is to phase out the projects over a longer space rather than taking on board massive projects. So spread that out, and also find other funding to ensure that we can continue to meet those priorities outside of what the operations are.
Okay, Tony.
Oh, kia ora. So working in collaboration with our local organisations, our iwi, our hapu, our hapori, and ensuring that they have the information and tools like rates rebates and rates rates remission, and being innovative to be able to ensure we are looking after our Pākeke, who may be on the penehana, and also those whānau who are struggling in the coalface first up with being able to pay their rates. Developing policies with them to be able to ensure that they're looked after in the short term. The long term is also being innovative and and collaborating and looking at ways in which we're able to seek investment from other sources into infrastructure and the projects that we have. Working together to co-design so that we have strong, sustainable and supported infrastructure long into the future that's not going to cost us in the long run.
Okay, Tony, what's the next box number?
To go.
Okay, we got A for Alpha.
Oh my gosh.
Do you support political party endorsements of local government candidates? If not, why not? If so, why?
Not in councils that are smaller than Auckland, Wellington or Christchurch. Because the populations are so small in our districts, we already have interconnected relationships. And so when we have our candidates standing, we already know them as people we know in the community and their whānau and probably their history. So we're already well connected. I think having political parties come into our smaller districts then takes away that ahua of that person as knowing them for them, and then you become under some political banner and values, your values change. But in small communities, we usually know each other well. In the bigger, larger cities where they have large populations, that may not happen, that interconnectedness may not happen, and there's probably room for those political parties to be able to champion, because other people will look at that party and look at the values because they don't know that person personally or their whānau or anything like that. So no, not at home.
Okay, Hedera.
I think local government is not about politics, it's about the people. And so I think that the people who are involved are very committed to the local to their electorate and the people that put them in place, and being committed to that time of serving them. So in terms of, I know some people would like to use this as a platform and use their experience here as moving on to other political aspirations, and that does happen. But in terms of, I think it's local government is about the people, and I like to remove the politics from it.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
Rima.
Rima. Okay, we got E for the East Coast Main Trunk Line. What are your top priorities and how will you ensure they are addressed?
Is that me?
Yes.
Yeah. I think housing is very important. When we think about our basic needs as shelter, water and food. And so housing is very important, and it really upsets me when I go past motels and I see children playing there, and that is a reality in our community. So I think housing and ensuring that there is affordable housing. We know there's a housing crisis in our area and there's not enough housing. But I also think we can support and work with iwi to help our people to move back onto their own whenua and erect their own houses that they own, not just rent, and be part of that renting system. Other priority is economic development. Obviously, we need jobs in order for our people to stay here. A lot of our young people move to Australia and other places where there are jobs, where there are good incomes, and also education, ensuring the pathways are here for our rangatahi and others.
Okay, Tony.
I took a tonu. For me, housing is definitely important. Alleviating the costs of living crisis is difficult to do as council, but through council being able to collaborate with iwi, hapu, local organisations and community housing providers, and also seeking other sources of funding to be able to invest in housing. Housing will bring economic input into our local community and our economy. Being able to have our local contractors and the employees from those places put kai on their tables. and that cash injection into our local economy is going to help alleviate some of those concerns around the cost of living. That same goes for infrastructure, being able to be innovative in how we utilise and co-design, like for example out at Matata, our waste systems and the systems that we are looking to put in place. And that may also mean looking at investment as well from different sources. So those are the two main priorities, plus, yes, education.
Okay, and Tony, what's the next box number?
Far. Oh,
Yeah, we can do far.
did we do far?
No, but we can do it.
Ah.
Yeah. It's got to say we did Rima or not. Okay, we got I for India when it wants to get there. How can the council contribute to civil defence and emergency management in our area?
Well, the council already does contribute to that. They part of our services actually required by law is that we have teams that are part of doing that. We've recently had drills for that, and they have regular training. The other one is being able to work with our local hapu and also iwi to ensure that our maraes and our hapus that become the first point of call in terms of being hubs are also part of designing their own response, and that council knows that well, and that we're able to utilise those networks because we always do, and being able to ensure that there's an even keel of that relationship and working together, and that we're not just always the last stop shop, and that they are a part and parcel of being able to not only support council but part of the plan and the strategy.
Yeah. Hidia.
I just agree with everything Tony's just said, but working together, and it is already happening, but it can be on a higher level, I guess. And I think just having that clarity of purpose, clarity of who is doing what, and sharing resources, so that those responses can be as immediate as they need to be, especially in our rural areas where people can be isolated and by these weather events, and so having those strategies to ensure that the help can get there when it's needed in both rural and in the townships.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
Te kaumaha ono.
Yep, we can do that. The current driver's licence age. Okay, we got F for Foxtrot. What are your priorities for improving rural road safety, public transports and accessibility for whānau in this ward?
Well, ensuring that whānau have input to the safety processes that go on in their communities, where there is the need for speed humps and other things to slow the traffic right down and ensure on those spaces near schools, etc., that these resources are put into place. To have to fight for some of these things, which are just safety for our children, those things need to be a priority, especially in our rural areas. But we need to be talking to whānau because they know what the traffic flow is like and when the traffic flow is heavy, and also just educating them and having those resources like the signs that show slow down and need to slow down. I know these things are expensive, but they could save lives in the end.
Okay, Tony.
Yes, tautoko what Hedia said. So yeah, continue to support the road safety team that we have within council, and looking at ways in which we are able to seek alternative funding, because we've had funding cut at the moment under the current government. So being able to ensure that we're able to keep that going and that they're able to continue doing the awesome mahi that they do with our kura around the rohe, ensuring that our tamariki are educated in terms of road safety themselves, but also that our whānau have that relationship with the road safety team, so that they are able to put that local knowledge and that it's not just about the council coming up with the policy and then putting it up unnoticed to say, oh, you've got to have a say about this. It should actually be coming from the ground in the first place rather than coming from a policy or legislation from Wellington, and that they are the drivers of it because they're the ones who want to ensure the most to protect our tamariki.
Okay, and Tony, what's the next box number?
Whetū.
Whetū. Okay, we got P for Papa.
Oh.
How will you balance the need for economic development with protecting the environment and biodiversity?
Utilise the environment and climate resilience plans and strategies that the council already has. There's been a lot of mahi and development gone into that, and a lot of that consultation has already been had with our hapori, with our iwi and our hapu as well. So really bringing those strategies to life so they're not just sitting on a shelf. And ways in which we can seek funding to enact some of those things we already are. And particularly with our waste minimisation, and also I also support the use of solar energy if we're able to have renewable sources of energy, but also opportunities to seek where we can create revenue from some of the innovations of solar panels, like the whakaaro to have solar panels out at the airport and utilise that whenua. So yes. Support tautoko ao.
Okay, Hidia.
Likewise, just ensuring that what has already been in place is not just sitting on a document, but it's being activated, and that people are educated about those specific plans, specific goals, and just ensuring our whānau know and understand that, but working in with iwi as well, iwi and hapu, in terms of that planning. You know, if we look at the sale of our wai, and I will speak about that, the sale of our wai, that wasn't, there couldn't have been that collaboration. So the collaboration has to be there so that we don't, our resources aren't going to another place that they shouldn't be going to. So that's very important, that people are informed and that we don't put money over our environment.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
20?
Yep, we can do that. The very brief period of time when that was the, was it voting age, and a little bit longer for the drinking age. Okay, we got W for whiskey. No, for whakatane. We're ditching the phonetic alphabet for whakatane. Okay, what experience or skills do you bring to ensure sound financial governance and decision making?
Well, I'm a director of some local dairy farms, they're organic dairy farms, so I have experience with governance and experience with budgets. Setting budgets, hopefully sticking to budgets, what we're meant to do, and evaluating those budgets. Doesn't always work perfectly, especially in years where we get flooded out, and we have years where they are quite difficult. So, I think I have some of those, I bring some of those skills in terms of governance. I work on multiple teams in my regular job as an education consultant, so I work in terms of collaborating with others. I don't have to do all the work myself, but some of the work I do myself, and others, we're working with other people. So I think working on the council, you are collaborating, you're bringing your best skills to the table and ensuring everyone's working in their strengths.
Kia ora. Yes, I do have some background in terms of being a trustee on different trusts, like our Marae Trust that is just going through a build of a new wharenui that is nearly $1 million. Also too, in the past, I worked for Te Aupōuri Trust Board, running a regional housing program in which we were able to support 100 whānau into homes in the far north. But one of my key experiences, I guess, is being a solo mum with 4 kids, 5 years and under, on the DPB. And one of the things that I learned going into council was that when I took a step back at how little money there was, it was sort of like realising that the council's like a solo mum on the benefit. There's never enough money, and the father to the kids is central government. He's swanned off with all the money, and he's telling everybody you're the problem. You're left at home to look after the kids, which are the ratepayers, and then those ratepayers are really ungrateful, and they start blaming you because they've been listening to their father, and yet you've got to try and keep everything afloat, and you're doing your best job. So that's the experience I have.
So the local government minister, Simon Watt,
yeah, he's the father who swanned off with all the money.
Simeon Brown,
yeah,
would be, as Louise Upston calls them, deadbeat fathers.
Yeah, well, they're the exes, and they've swanned off with the money, telling everybody you're the problem, and they're not helping look after these kids at all. And now the kids are listening to them and believing them and blaming the mother. And then those kids grow up and they realise, actually, mum wasn't that bad. She was actually doing a great job. But by then, it's too late. They were too busy listening to their dad.
I think this might make the 6 o'clock news. Tony, what's the next box number?
Ruatakau Mārima.
Oh, yes. The age of when your car insurance premium, excess drops. For me, it dropped from $800 to $500. $300, yes, yeah. Gee, Catherine, you're better than me at remembering what my car insurance policy is. It's all right, commercial insurance on my car ain't cheap either. We got M for Mike. Do you support reviewing council spending priorities before turning to further rates increases?
Definitely. I mean, we already have to do that by law anyway. So all councils are required by legislation to be able to have their plans audited. So you can't move forward until that's done. It's a legal requirement. So of course, we support that, and it's needed. It's needed for the transparency, for our communities to know that they might not like what's gone into the plan and how much money has been spent, but it's been checked over and it's been audited and it's workable and it's ticker, in a sense. And so, yes, I do support that. And when it comes to the funding model, as I've said before, the funding model is broken. We don't have enough tools because the father's holding all the money and he's not giving any help. And so we have to hustle. Just like a solo mum, you have to hustle, you have to hunt down those grants, you have to hunt down those scholarships and sponsorships to be able to make it work. And it's your strength of your relationships with everybody that helps get you through.
Heria.
Yeah, likewise, I do support reviewing the spending priorities because I think there's always room for improvement. And I think as a council, you need to be committed to finding those savings, despite the fact that you may be committed to quite a large debt, and debt is the way that you service, you ensure you pay for the services that we need to do as a community on that operational level. But I think there's ways to, I think we need to think a bit more deeper on how to make those savings and look at external funding and ensure that people are, that we are, as well as those who do that job, look at those external funds to help fund the things that we know we need over and above.
Okay, what's the next box number?
Rua te kaumatoru.
Okay. Can't say much about that age. Okay, we got O for Potiki. Do you support borrowing to fund for major infrastructure, or should we focus on a pay-as-you-go model?
Okay. Well, borrowing has been basically the way in which councils have funded what they have needed to fund. So if we went to a pay-as-you-go model, we may not have the services that we need in the community. So at the moment, borrowing is the way to do that, and that has been councils prior to us, and that has been the way. I don't know that a pay-as-you-go model will give us the range of services that we need and that we value for the health of our community.
Okay, Tony.
Yes, I took all that. Well, Whakatāne has 17,000 ratepayers. Our total capital works over the next 10 years is $1.1 billion. And so in terms, the only sort of avenue that we have is to be able to borrow for those capital works. We're very fortunate that we have the LGFA. That sounds a bit funny at the end there, but anyway, they're a funding body in which we're able to be able to seek lower interest rates to be able to borrow from. Like I said before, the funding tools are really limited. What we do need to do, as well as champion and be innovative and hustle at home, is to also champion and lobby in Wellington. You know, we need to be able to see the GST either come back or come off our rates. Back to councils, we also need to ensure that the Crown pays rates on their properties. So that we're able to have different revenue streams, or that the Crown and government just directly fund councils for the unfunded mandates that they give us continually. Kia ora.
Okay, and Tony, what's the next box number?
I've done te ko iwa.
Yes, we can do Iwa. Okay, we've got V for violin.
Oh, V.
How will you ensure equitable access to services, facilities and funding for Māori communities in Kapu te rangi?
By getting everybody to vote for Queen Kingi on the Whakatāne Community Board. Being able to have a member of our mana whenua and Ngāti Hokopu Hapu as part of our Whakatāne Community Board will not only, see a seed of our whānau turning up to be able to apply for funding, but also too, it means that the Community Board itself then establishes a relationship with its rohe and the mana whenua and the tikanga and kawa that goes on to there, because that's going to bring a whole host of collaborative projects, and it's exciting. It's exciting to have someone like that on there. So please vote for Queen Kingi and be able to tautoko that direct thing. What was the question? Access to funding. Yeah, being able to do things like that, being able to ensure that all of our whānau know that we get that information out there, and that we have people to tautoko on how they're going to apply and to keep on going, and how they match up with what council's outcomes are too, so they can get the pūtea.
Okay.
I agree with everything that Tony said, but also just educating our people, and because a lot of the time they do not know what is available and what funding is available, what services are available. So ensuring that we are getting the word out there to them, making that information clear and transparent, and supporting them in those applications.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
8, Waru?
Yep, we can do that. Oh. Sorry, I picked one of the letter I saw. So we got L for Lima. Was it many whānau struggle to access affordable housing? What role should council play in supporting, was it Papa Kaianga development and Māori-led housing solutions in Kapu te rangi?
Well, I think council can work with iwi, with hapu, with individuals in terms of their consents, and I know that they're trying to ensure consents are a lot easier and faster so they don't drag out, but working together with them. In terms of funding, I think central government should help fund some of the infrastructure in terms of the papakainga. That is one of the biggest expenses over and above the whānau paying for their own house in the papakainga. But if you're talking about iwi as an iwi development, some iwi work and have rental properties as well as rent to buy or owner homes to own. So I think in terms of our councils and government can both help with that.
Okay, Tony.
Yes, definitely. We have opportunities here to be able to collaborate with local providers who have already established housing models. So if we think about Te Tohu Turo Ngāti Awa and what Enid has done out there with her model of having residential homes but also rentals that support our whānau, wraparound services to ensure that they are able to purchase their own whare and homes. Being able to collaborate with government to be able to open up the homes that we're meant to be built, the 70 homes that are there. We can look at a mixed model, that partly funded by government and meets their outcomes, but also working with local providers so that we increase the social housing stock and also private residential stock as well, so that we've got a mixed model for everybody, and that we increase the ratepayer base, which is great, and it's particularly in town because we already have the infrastructure, the plans are ready to go, everything, the consents are all ready to go. It's a winner. All we have to do is be the glue that brings everybody together, and let's make it work.
Okay, and Tony, what's the next box number?
To go Mārua.
Yes, we can do that. Okay, we got S for Sierra.
Oh my gosh.
Phonetic alphabet.
And I didn't make it down to S.
No, that's all right. I did many years of ATC, so that's the reason why I still remember the phonetic alphabet. Do you support co-governance arrangements where appropriate? Why or why not?
Definitely, because co-governance arrangements have been around for a long, long time, well over, some of them 20 years. And just like with Māori wards, this whole kaupapa of fearing co-governance or fearing Māori wards is really a fear of someone else's own thinking of how they think. And whenever we have come across these barriers of fear and people not wanting to have co-governance, once we go over that, there's actually nothing to worry about ever. In fact, the opposite happens. Now, we have a co-design with the waste reticulation system out at Matata with Te Neaotanga o Mātātua. Absolutely stunning that we have these 3 iwi that come together with the Pākehā Matata community to co-design this beautiful, sustainable system that is not only going to help them with their sewage, but has helped bring a whole community together. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, I do. And if we think about our mātāpono, ngā mātāpono o te tiriti o Waitangi, we think about protection, partnership, and we think about participation. Those 3 things sum up co-governance. The problem is the treaty has never been fully honoured. That's a rare thing in our country, to really see the treaty being honoured. And for us as Māori, we don't just want it to be honoured, we want it to be activated, and we want to live by those principles. And to be able to do that and with co-governance, that will be a win. And it hasn't been something that we have done on a large term in our country, and I think it's time to do that.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
19?
Yep, we can do that. Okay, we got T for Tariwha. How would you balance long-term asset renewal with keeping rates manageable?
That's a bit of a hard question for me. I would say I don't have a lot of experience in talking about asset renewal. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one.
Tony?
I mean, a similar answer to some of our other answers that we've given. It's still a way of balancing, I guess, what those assets are seeking opportunities in which we're able to, in the first place, how we look after those assets, and also to where investment can be sought as well when it comes to what needs to be renewed. We also have to understand too that technology is coming away quite far with AI, and looking at what different services, how is that going to look in the future, how prepared are we, using co-design models where we can in the hapori and areas in which those assets need to be renewed. And yes, still looking for those other funding tools when it comes to being able to keep rates affordable, and making sure that our whānau know all along the way they have transparency about what's going on for them so they understand.
Okay. Tony, what's the next box number?
Toru.
Toru. Okay, we got AA for the AA batteries.
Oh.
What is the biggest challenge facing Whakatāne District Council?
The biggest challenge, obviously, there's cost of living, there's all of those things, the lack of housing, the need for investment in infrastructure. But one of the things, there's also being together as a community to look after each other in times of need and weather and events. But also, I think the biggest challenge is ourselves. Being able to ensure that we have strong leadership that unlocks the potential of our district, that champions us, not in a whakahihi way, but in a way in which we're able to support everybody around the table. We unlock the experience and the skills of all of our councillors around the table. We have strong dynamic leadership that champions each and every one of them, utilises their skill and experience, and be able to them drive different parts of the portfolio, utilise their networks, activate all of that, and have somebody who's able to champion them all here at home and also down in Wellington, so all of that pūtea can be attracted to make our Whakatāne district amazing.
Okay, Heria.
I think one of the biggest challenges is instilling within our constituents and within the ratepayers confidence in the council, and confidence in the leadership and the ability for the councillors to work together and work together with a strong plan. I think, I guess a lot of the time there's a lot of, everyone wants affordable rates, and I guess sometimes you have to step up. You have to step up into these positions and be willing to bring your skills and bring your ability. It's okay to, many people can criticise our councillors, but one thing is that they stepped up and put their hand up to be part of the solution. And so I think bringing that confidence back, but utilising every person, every strength, and ensuring that we are fulfilling those major goals, strategic goals in the plan.
Okay, and what's the next box number?
Toru?
Already just been taken. Do you want Rua?
Yep.
Okay, we've got C for Charlie. How will you ensure Te Tiriti o Waitangi and Mana Whenua voices are generally embedded in Whakatāne District Council's decision making?
Well, firstly, I'd ensure that I am in touch with the people who are able to contribute to those plans and to those policies, ensuring that we know what the people want and what the people need. And I think our community has been clear over time and has contributed to a lot of the conversations and a lot of the plans that have happened in our community. But at times the mana has been taken away from our people, and our people have had to fight and go into court to fight the council for things that are inherently go against our tikanga, go against our values. So I think it's really important to be connected to them and ensure those voices are heard, those voices are part of the conversation, and ensuring that there's transparency, and we do go out into the communities and get those people to come and to stand up and actually express those their voices and opinions, even though we are at the table as well.
Okay, Tony.
By ensuring we do everything possible to keep our Māori wards, get our whānau and our wider public to support and be educated on its value. Māori wards are te tiriti in action. When we are at the table, our presence alone decolonises the space. There are conversations that can no longer be had about us without us. It means that, what they used to say about us, they sort of can't anymore because we're sitting there. And if they do start to say it, then we're going to go, oh, kia ora, excuse me. And we're going to be able to raise that as well. But tautoko what Hiria said in terms of being able to ensure the āhua of council envelops our people too, and that not only getting them to come into that process, but there is a way in which that process and being in those spaces becomes comfortable and normal, and that they know that when they go in there they can be looked after.
Okay, and Tony, what's next box number?
Tai.
Okay, we got B for Bravo.
Oh, B.
How will you stand up for your community interests if it differs from your own position?
Well, I'm a Māngai, being a Māngai for our people, and we're used to it with our own hapu and marae politics. You may have your personal opinion and you have your hui at your marae and you argue your side, and then you get outnumbered, and then that becomes the kaupapa. And then I'm a delegate on my marae. So when I go to the tribal, I am voicing what the hapu has said, regardless of what my personal position is. And it's a similar thing when it comes to council, because I'm in service. I'm their tono. So I'm their māngai. So I stand there as their mouthpiece, and if that is the kōrero they have given me, that is the kōrero that I say. Because I'm going to get in a lot of trouble if I start to change things, and they'll know about it. So definitely ensuring that is a priority, but also too that our whānau are equipped with the correct information, the full information, so that when they are making those stances and positions, that they are doing it being well informed of what it is that they're going to focus on and drive on.
Okay. Hiria.
Yeah, first and foremost, you are there to serve the people who voted you in there. So if they have their interests and they make that clear, then you are there to put those interests forward and to ensure that those things are made known and very clear. If it does differ from your own position, I think you need to make that clear to your people as well, that this is my position. However, you are there to serve them. So that's a difficult question, because it puts you in a situation. But I think if there's clarity about your position, but you are there to serve your people, then there's no real issue. Unless it goes really against your total values and you have to step away from something. It's totally against your values and you have to step away, then that's what you have to do.
Okay, and what's next box number? Hiria, what's the next box number?
Te kauma waru?
Yes, we can do the voting age. Okay, we've got H for hotel. How accessible is the current Whakatāne District Council, and what steps would you take to improve its accessibility if needed?
Is this talking about physical accessibility or just on the whole?
I think it's a general broad brush on the whole.
Oh, I think just continuing to educate people on what the council does and what is available. I think a lot of people are digitally inclined, and so we've got a website. I don't think we have an app. Do we have an app?
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. So people like to use apps to go to things really quickly, but the website's very helpful. I go to the website when I need it. I'm a dog owner. Just different things if I need to know. There's a whole lot of stuff on the website, but just ensuring that our people understand what is there, what are their responsibilities, and how they can find what they need to find.
Okay, Tony.
What I'd really love to do is see our council go out to our Rohe and being able to hold our huis at least once out of the triennium in our different wards, in our different communities, so that it's accessible for those communities to be able to come in. And not only just that, but be able to prepare them well in advance about being able to utilise that time that the council is having its meeting, get the delegations, use the public forum, be able to put forward your kopa, really rally the council to what it is and the issues that are there, and also that council has before that have come through and learnt the cultural history of that area before they had that hui there, making that accessible. The other one, my dream, is to be able to ensure that we have those earpieces so our whānau can talk in te reo, that our councillors who are Pākehā understand it, but also too that they can come in comfortably, do their submissions all in te reo, and everybody gets it. Everybody gets to see how beautiful our whakaaro is. So, yeah.
Can I please request that to also be put in the ballot budget?
Yeah.
Because, Tuesday night. Love Jackie. I still need someone to translate it.
Oh, we've got some of the top translators in the country that live right here.
Yeah. Okay, Tony, what's next box number?
I'm trying to think of... Te kauma tahi.
Yes, we can do that. Okay, we got G for golf.
Golf. Okay.
Geyser, no Donald Trump nearby. I doubt that he would sit there and be happy with any of the golf courses around here. They're probably not Mar-a-Lago enough. Māori communities in this ward face flooding, coastal erosion, and severe weather risk. How will you help marae? How will you help whānau and marae adapt and stay resilient? God, that was a bit of a tongue twister.
I think it's Hapu and Marae that's going to help the council adapt and stay resilient. We're always the go-to whenever disaster strikes, whenever a weather thing happens. And the thing is, we've been here for 1,000 years, so we know exactly what we need to do and how we need to mobilise. Just in ourselves, we're used to, at a drop of a hat, when somebody passes away, we mobilise. It's just part of what we've been raised in doing. And so that natural ability means that it's council is usually often really slow. But kei te pai, we work in collaboration with our hapu. What I'd really love to see is that there's some capacity building with our hapu in terms of the resilience and giving them the resources. They're the ones who are able to design what it is that is needed so that when that happens, they have tools and access to those things to be able to up everybody, because that's what they're doing anyway. Let's just make sure that they get to design the resources and tools that are going to make it better.
Okay, Hedia.
Like Tony, I agree that most of our marae are equipped to deal with, to support and deal with whānau when disaster strikes. I think it would be really great because quite often in my small community, I don't live in there, but I'm from there, the water is the first thing to go, and so people are boiling water, etc. Some homes have their own water tank that they have separate to the road water, and so that's helpful, but to ensure that every home would have that would be great, and whether they could get some sort of discount in buying that tank. It doesn't have to be a huge tank, but it has to be able to last for a few days. And so some whānau have got that. And I think water is just so important. It's one of the first things. But on the whole, I think just strengthening and supporting our iwi to ensure that their responses are quick and nimble.
Okay, Tony. Oh, you've already
Answer that.
you answered that one. Sorry, Hidia. What's the next box number?
6.
That's long gone. 13 is the lowest.
Okay.
You've got 14. Then you can go to 17, and then from 21, you can get 22, 24. There's 26, 27, or 28.
Te kaumatoru.
Okay, we got D for Delta. Māori okay, it's finally changed. What is your approach to maintaining a strong local voice while working within a district council structure?
Once again, I've said it once before, but ensuring that you are getting out into your community and they are contributing to the things that matter most to them. So that is coming in clear, that clarity about what our communities need, what's important to them. And that, because the strong voice is their voice, and we are just that conduit to bring that and to represent that, but also be part of the solutions, be part of creating the solutions. But our whānau have many solutions as well, and ensuring that they are contributing to those plans and solutions.
Okay, Tony.
Ai, reti tonu. Being kānohi kitea, I guess the face that is seen on the ground at home on our marae, our hapu, with our iwi and our kaupapa, and being able to do this with our wider community and public and community events as well. So often as a Māori World Councillor, you do sort of double time. So there's the council kaupapa, there's the wider public community kaupapa that you go to, as well as our own people's kaupapa as well. And so what that does, though, it also benefits by being able to weave two worlds together, and the opportunities that we have in knowing what is happening not only in our community as a kanohi kitea, but also to what's happening in the wider public and those public events, so that, you know, it's part of being a conduit of information as well as being able to weave those two worlds together, because that's where we have some of the best opportunities to strengthen our whānau and have that whāriki, be nice and warm and look after us.
Okay, let's get ready for hard-hitting questions. So
Oh,
please roll the graphic in. It's on XSplit, because you know how the Stream Deck key won't program.
Hard-hitting question.
Hard-hitting questions. We're not getting the money. What does a question? Because every candidate has answered the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 1. With rising cost and rates, what is your plan to keep council spending under control while still delivering essential services? Tony.
So our plan has been put forward. We had to do a draft submission for our local water done well, and so one of the things is being able to ensure that it gets signed off. So that's part of being responsible and accountable, that we are able to do the mahi and being able to do the job, and that it's affordable. Being able to educate our whānau in terms of how things work with council, what is coming ahead for us, and being realistic to say, whānau, it's going to be tough. The rates are going to be high, but if we're able to get over this hump, we're able to ensure that these communities are looked after, we have communities that need renewed infrastructure, then it's going to make it easier for us in the long run if we get through this period. But we've also got to be looking at other ways along the outside in which we can try and lessen the load in different other areas. But main thing is being straight up with our whānau, once they're given the information, the full information, they're really reasonable in what they're facing. Not saying that that's all right, still going to have to uffy them somehow.
Okay, Hiria.
Well, we are paying now for some of the decisions and all the actions that weren't taken in the past for whatever reason may be, and we can't sort of go back to that deficit. So that budget, that plan, that 10-year plan has been set, and so I think most people know that and understand that the rates will rise. But it's also having those things in place, like the rates rebates, like the continuing to lobby the government to ensure to get that GST back, etc. Some of those things. But in terms of rising costs, those rates rises are sitting there. We can only look for savings and other ways to access investment and funding to ensure that keeps that under control a little bit better.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 2. Are you comfortable with the way the council manages its debt position? Hiria.
I don't think anyone's comfortable with debt, because debt is like a noose around your neck. But it is like Tony was saying, you're the solo mother with, and you never have enough money to fulfill everything that you want to fulfill. But I mean, as you know, I am a director of some farms. In order to operate those farms, we use debt, and we have to set a long-term plan. So we're never always we're in the red at times, at different times. So debt is a way to get to where we need to get to. And as we know, when the interest rates go down, that makes a big difference. But interest rates can go up and down. So I guess I'm comfortable with it. It's not something that we all want to have to deal with, but that is one way that we are fulfilling and ensuring we've got all those essential services.
Okay, Tony.
Well, it is, talking about the solo mum who never has enough money, she's got to look after these kids who are the ratepayers. I think the solo mum needs to sort of find her a new man. One that's got some pingers, who's got some money, who loves her so much that is going to support all the kaupapa that she wants to do. Or she's got to go back and sort her ex out and make sure he pays up. So being able to, and everybody likes to be in a comfortable position if you've got the support. So being able to understand that we do need to be able to look at those different ways, but who can be that new tāne, so that mother's not a solo mother struggling away. But also to, things like borrowing for operational costs is not a good thing. Being able to ensure that if we make savings, that we pay it down on our long-term debt. So it makes it easier for our mokopuna, for our ones in the future, so that when those ratepayer kids grow up, they're going to be grateful for all the hard work that your solo mum did.
Oh. Simon Watt, start making sure the council's paying that child support.
That's right. Owes us heaps of money. Hasn't paid up. Keeps on lying to IRD about having no money.
Imagine the back payment and penalties if that allergy was put against the government in the same way they try to sit there and do it for contributing child support parents.
Well, our child support is that GST. So when they brought in that tax on a tax, not only should we ask for it to come back, we should get a back pay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this one might mention that previous father, Simeon Brown's wish list. What is your position on retaining Whakatāne District's Council? Was it was it Kapu Māori Ward and the Bay of Plenty Regional Council's Kohi Māori constituency, and why do you hold that position? Tony.
Oh, definitely. We're in the fight of our lives right now with our referendum, not only here, but in 41 other districts across the Motu, to be able to retain our Māori ward seats. So definitely do that. Bay of Plenty Regional Council is really lucky. Theirs is set in legislation, so it's not going to go anywhere. But even though this is really, really hard, every time we have to come a challenge like this, what it does do is send out a vibrational circle of information, re-education, being able to ensure that our communities are filled up with the reasons why Māori wards are so good. You know, the reasons why we need to keep a hold of them, the reasons why they're really important. And our tamariki going through that journey are going to think that's normal. They're going to be part of these different movements. They're going to come to a hikoi that's on the 27th of September on a Saturday to be part of that. And that memory, that mahara is going to carry them in all of the other things that they do. And Māori wards, whether they do something to it now, they're going to be there.
Okay. Hiria.
Well, I'll say first and foremost, the referendum on the wards is a breach of te tiriti o Waitangi. And not only is it a breach, we've seen so many breaches, not just in with this government, but previous governments. But it is a breach because we are partners, and there's no partnership without partners. And as tangata whenua, we are treaty partners. Some of us are tangata whenua and tangata tiriti because we have ancestors who came. I've got my surname Wallace, so we are both, but we are partners. And to be treated like this and to run a referendum and to throw it into the hands of other people to say whether or not you get a say and whether you get representation in our local council is wrong. And that's one of the reasons why I'm standing, is to support our Māori wards and to get the message out and educate people around our Māori wards.
Okay, and we're at that time of the show where it's now closing statements. Hiria, would you like to give your 1 minute closing statement of why you should be getting that tick?
Oh, kia ora tātou. I've put myself forward, like I said, to support Māori wards for Māori representation. I've served in our community for 31 years in education, and not 1 second has been wasted because I think our rangatahi are amazing. But I'm in a position where I can give time, where I can give my skills, bring my skills to support our community and to ensure that Māori are uplifted and Māori continue to move forward in their own lives, that our well-being is very important, that we take our place in our community as descendants of this land. We are descendants of this land, yet we have been marginalised in this space, in this place, through, as you know, through land confiscations and through many other things, through the wars and other things that have happened. So I'm here to stand for Māori, stand for whānau, and to be there to uplift them.
Okay, and Tony. Ready when you are.
Oh, kia ora. I have similar reasons. I also firstly want to mihi tū Hiria. You know, one of the brilliant things about having Māori wards is that now it's such a reality that we have 2 strong wahine that are vying for position, that our communities then have 2 warriors in terms of being able to educate and support our whānau into participating in local elections and learning about it. So I just want to mihi to the mahi that she is doing for that and the courage to think everything. For me, I guess it's that I have the leadership, I have the experience, I have the knowledge, and also the networks. I understand what is at play right now, and we're facing the 3-headed taniwha right down the barrel in this next following term. We need to be able to be on guard, we need to be on alert to be able to utilise every single skill that we have to be able to protect what is at home and our people and in chambers, and we also need to be able to call for what we can get down in Poneke. Kia ora.
Okay, well, thank you for our candidates joining us today on making this It's in the Ballot show a success. And I'm trying to think what else is there. I'd like to thank our audience for participating, for clapping, for keeping things in action. And like to thank Ian and Catherine, who's on set, and Stacey as our remote editor, for making today's show work as a bit of a success. I'm trying to remember where all the cameras are because it's not in the normal spot where I'm used to looking at. Because at the moment it's like, if I look at the audience, I'm now not looking at the camera. All the fun part that goes with it. So yes, we've had a fun day. Any final comments you'd love to make?
Just say mihi ana kia koe. Thank you for facilitating this, and everyone else who's here and the supporters. But e mihi ana hau kia Tony mo wana mahi nunui. Tony has done all the groundwork for the Māori wards and has championed that and continues to do all that hard work for our people. And she's an amazing person. So it's just awesome to be beside her.
It's also to do this together.
Yeah.
Even though we're going for the vying for the same seat, what it does do is ki te whakakoekoe, it sharpens us. It sharpens me, you got to be up on your game, and that's what we want for our people. We want to be able to have those challenges, but also too, what we wanted to do was make sure that we looked after each other while we were doing that, and that's why we are doing this together. At the end of the day, the seat is the most important thing. Being able to retain that seat, regardless of who is going to sit in it, but ensuring that it remains, ensuring that our tamariki just think that is normal. Auntie's there, I'm going to be the mayor, when I grow up. And that is exactly the whakaaro that we want them to have. So as long as the seat remains, and were you finished doing that? Sorry. And I do want to do a mihi to you as well, Sam, and if I can, I want to ask my sons to come up so that we're able to do a mihi to you for all the mihi that you've been doing across the whole motu. It's just unbelievable looking at your page. You're in Wellington, you're in Waipa, you're in Hamilton, and next minute you're in Murupara. And that you do this whole setup mainly by yourself. And that, it's non-for-profit. You're not making any money out of this. You're really doing a great service for people to be able to access this online. And I just really, really want to mihi to you and thank you for the energy that you have to be able to get through this. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it either.
But I just want to mihi to you, and I'd like to ask my sons, because I can tunu them around, if they can come up and help tautoko me and Lydia by singing the waiata, please. Come up. Now you can grab the mics if you want. You can. Yeah.
Catherine, you've got a big job.
Ahana te mana wa ki te hikarangara no te toku atua he alleluia 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 alleluia.
Thank you so much.
Mihi to you, Sam, for your mihi.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say hit that closing credits key now, Ian.